Censored, here's the weird stuff I love. Imagine your vision is totally normal, and then one day you see demonic features everywhere on people only, just like this, what you see behind me. Now, that's a reality for a man named Victor Shera. He has extremely rare yet terrifying disorder called PMO, and it's commonly known as, or now known because people didn't know about it at first. It's called the demon face syndrome. People with the condition see parts of other people's faces distorted in shape, texture, position, or color. For Shera, that means grotesque, grimace, elongated eyes, and deeply etched scars. Also, pointed ears. There are 75 known cases of the disorder. My next guest, well, we talk about it, and he is kind of skeptical, but he says there's some proof. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us Dr. Nick Hardy. Dr. Nick, you know, I'm always looking for the weird and the different, and I think I found it today. And this condition, we're told, is called demon face syndrome. Now, it's when an individual sees someone and their face seems distorted, almost satanic, demon-like. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I haven't. And to your point, when I saw that only 75 cases have been reported, I said, ooh, we really looked high and low to find this one. But I have not heard of this one before. Doesn't mean that it's not valid. Doesn't mean that it's not real. I just haven't heard it. This is the first time that I've heard about this disorder.
And 75 cases in a world of what, billions of people, that's pretty low, right?
It is. It's extremely low. And truthfully, I need to look and see what the threshold is for it even comes up on people's radar, at least from a medical perspective. But I'll say this, you know, they say 75 reported. That means that there could be more people, but just out of fear of, you know, embarrassment or what does this look like? What do people think? I mean, am I crazy? Did I, you know, eat something bad? Is this temporary? I mean, just all the thoughts and feelings that come along with, you know, this being.
How are they describing this so-called demon face syndrome? What is it exactly from what you've been able to ascertain?
Yeah, so what I've seen is basically this is a disorder that when people look at others, there's this distorted view that creates a demon-like figure. And so, you know, some of their eyes may kind of spread out. There may be distortions on their skin. And this only happens when they're looking at people. I don't think that they said that they saw the same imagery when they looked at a sheet of paper. And so it's happening in real time, according to some of these reports.
And I think they examined and they used in one of the case studies a Tennessee truck driver who said he began seeing people's faces and they looked like demons back in 2020. And the term schizophrenia has been tossed around. Where does that fit in?
It doesn't fit in here because in this situation, this is just visual distortion, whereas with schizophrenia, a lot of times people have delusional thoughts and beliefs. And so they may see it, but then there's a narrative that goes along with it that, you know, creates a story around what could be happening, some hallucination. This is just seeing things that don't look normal. So totally different than schizophrenia.
Wow. It's kind of like I don't even know what to do with this, but I'm so interested in it if people are actually seeing others who look like demons just visually. Because that could lead to some mental issues. If you think people are demons around you, you know, that would affect your brain.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even just how you respond to someone that is your roommate versus a demon that's coming in your room.
Right.
Totally different. But I'll say this, you know, when I was reading about this, one of the things that I do think from a mental health perspective that we have to be careful of is even labeling it demon could push people away who could be suffering from this disorder. And I think this has been the case with a lot of mental health disorders over the history of what we have come to learn about mental health. You know, we used to call it mental retardation, you know, like, I mean, all of these derogatory terms that we're fighting some of those stigmas now. just in the mental health space. So I think even though it's early, not a lot of people have it. We still have to be careful how we describe it.
Do you put a lot of credibility in it, though? Do you think they know what they're talking about? Not the people, but those who may be studying the people, who may be buying into this.
Yeah, I do put some credibility into it. I mean, because when I looked at the study, I mean, there was some merit in how they went about kind of verifying this. But I will say initially, I was like, oh, here we go again. We just making up stuff now. But it came from a credible source, and they did name that, hey, this is still very early, only 75 cases reported. And so it's not common. I think there's probably more research and more studies that need to be done. But I think if there's a immediate influx of people who say now that they have this disorder, I think that it could raise some questions or some concerns about the validity of everything. So we'll see.
Absolutely. We will see, Dr. Nick Hardy. Thank you for joining me and indulging me in my weirdness. And don't forget, you can watch Isaiah Factor Uncensored along with other great shows on Fox Soul and the Fox Local app. Just check out the foxsoul.tv.